Swimwear, lingerie, activewear, performance wear, these are all very specialized categories. What it means is that not every pattern maker, not every sample room, not every factory can handle them right. So if you are in that space, if you're thinking about getting into that space, here are three things that you should keep in mind. The first thing is you really want to find the right people who has a lot of experience in these categories to work on your product. So you want your pattern maker to understand swim if you're doing swim, or understand lingerie if this is what you're doing. Because the thing about that is that these type of categories require specific skills, they require specific machineries, and they really have nuances to them that someone who haven't worked in that space before is not going to be able to get them right. And is not going to be able to get them right in a high level. I can tell you this, when I first introduced to these categories about 12 or so years ago, even though I had about 10 years already in the industry, producing product, working in the industry, the swimwear category was completely new to me. I didn't know anything about it and had to find the right resources and find the people who can walk me through this and do the right thing, understanding fabrication, understanding the categories, know how to work with this, because I had bad experiences in the beginning. And I don't want you to have these same experiences. So we're now in that space for over 12 years and have the right resources. I can tell you it took time, and without the right people, this would not be in a category that we would do well in. So first thing, find specialized people in these categories to work on your product. The second thing, fabrication. Fabrication in these categories are very important. Because if you think of pants or jackets, especially woven, you can many times use the same pattern for different type of fabrics. But when it comes to swimwear, when it comes to lingerie, when it comes to activewear, fabrication is key when it comes to fit. Because the bodies, the actual pieces are tied to the body. And every little thing matters. Every little thing will impact the fit. So I can look at two fabrics that have the same content, for example, meaning 81 nylon, 9% spandex, or 80% poly and 10% spandex. Both fabrics will have the same content, but they will act very differently. How they stretched, how they recover from the stretch, the weight of the fabrics, how they were knitted, all of these nuances will make these two fabrics act differently when they're made. So I can have a pattern made with one fabric, and once I do it in a different fabric, it will have a completely different fit. And I've had that before. So my recommendation to you is always work on your development with the actual fabrics that you are going to use for production. So your patterns fit the fabrics that you're actually going to use. And if you decide to change fabric, make a sample first, fit it on, make sure that the pattern works for that new fabric before you go into production. And the third thing, because the development of these categories can be a little bit more complex and need more hands-on, more specialization, what you really want to do is you want to find core items in your line, core styles that you create patterns for them at the beginning, and then that you can carry over and over season after season. Because the reality is, with most of these items in these categories, fit is the number one value. And when your customers buying a swimwear from you or a legging from you, and they love how it fits them, that is going to be, in most cases, more important than how it's going to look, meaning creatively. So when you have bodies, when you have patterns, when you have styles that your customers reacted to, loved, bought, you got a good feedback to, you really want to keep using these bodies going forward, sorry, because that's the key. Again, it's going to take time. It's going to take investment and money to create these bodies every season from scratch. So what you want is you want to find your core styles, get them done right, invest the time and money in developing the right way, and then you can carry them over and over again, making your customer happy, making your cash flow happy because you don't have to spend on development every time. And the long game is even better because once you know that these bodies are bodies that your customers are happy with, you can then commit to bigger quantities for production and therefore get better prices from your production supply chain. So, first tip, make sure that the people who are going to work on your items specialize in these categories. Number two, fabrication is key. Always make sure that you develop a pattern for the specific fabric that you're going to use in production. And third, think about bodies, core bodies that you can develop and use over time.